Hello, testing, check 1, 2, this is Henry.
What's up? Welcome back to Workshop Wednesday. I'm Henry, this is my workshop, and on Wednesdays we talk about the things I've learned, the mistakes I've made as a young entrepreneur in this world. Today, we're talking about the mechanic, why you need to know exactly how your car works, how anything works. And it begins with a story. So if you remember that van that I teased in last week's video, I bought it with Athena and we wanted to make sure that everything checked out before we invested in building a tiny home inside of it. So I took it to the mechanic and he brings me into his office to tell me the invoice for the 5 things that need to be done. I don't know, whatever tactics he wanted to use, but he basically comes to the point where he says, okay, for those 5 things to be done, all around the turbocharger, we don't need to go into it. He says, it'll come out to be 1971. And he keeps talking and talking, and I just sit there and I don't say anything. And then I look at him and I say, I said, that's $19.71, right? Which we could call a mirror. It's basically repeating the last thing somebody said to show that you're listening, but also to get them talking next. And he laughs. And he says, no, $1,971. And I was dumbfounded. But that didn't matter because I still didn't say anything. And without me saying anything, just asking if he meant $19, he tells me, well, okay, let me see what I can do. And he goes to his computer and he says, let me put in the parts discount for you. And okay, we can give you a labor discount. What? So now, he's put in the parts discount and the labor discount, and we're at $872. $1,971 to $872. What kind of price discrimination is this? What that tells me is somebody is paying that first price he threw out. I still think the second one's too high, but somebody is paying that first price. And it was important to note here, too, they were doing a lot of work on businesses' trucks and vans. Which also worries me that what they're quoting is what businesses are paying because now there's a dog barking. Because businesses have the money and the expenses and can expense that payment. It drives me mad. So now we're at $872 and I saw 3 resolutions because we're still not gonna pay that. Resolution number 1, we can source the parts ourselves and give them to the mechanic to do the work, right? Because there is still merit to having the mechanic do that specialized work that saves me or you the opportunity cost of learning how to do that work. If I think that I'm worth $100 an hour and it's gonna take me 6 hours to fix the van, then paying them the $125 for 4 hours, I hope that math makes sense. But basically, if the cost of them doing that labor is less than how I'd value my own time and my own labor, then you do that all day long. But if I can supply them the parts that they have to get from the manufacturer, when in fact you can use third-party parts, then I'll give them the parts and they can do the labor. Because I still thought the parts they invoiced were too expensive. Option number 2, and actually this is pretty important, so I'd probably put it before 1, but you don't have to say yes on the spot. I took his invoice, I went home, and I got 25 second opinions from other mechanics in the area. And this is important because now that the first mechanic had done the work of letting me know what was wrong, I was able to take that list of things to other mechanics to see if they could beat their price. Spoiler alert, they did beat the price. So now I've got competitive bidding over a job on my van from multiple parties, and I, the buyer, but now seller, because I'm selling the work to them. Now I'm in control and I get to choose who does the work. That's a good position to be in. So again, these are the things that went through my head. Buy the parts, get second opinions, and finally, you can just do the work yourself. There are obviously things you can do and things you can't do. But it's important to invest in the things you can do and you can learn so that when the day comes that in this case at least, that your car is broken down in the Mojave Desert because your engine's overheating, and now you know what to do in that situation, the investment will have been worth it. And I firmly believe that knowing these things, even if you don't choose to do the work yourself, right? Just knowing how the systems work so you can question and push back on the initial quote you're given is a really important skill to have and something worth investing in. And so I found, given those options, that this was one of those things I could and should do myself. It's an easy fix on a system that deals with air, so there's no fluids involved. I just have to replace a few hoses that have air going through them. And the notion that I would pay somebody $875 to do what I can do cheaper in a smaller amount of time while gaining a better understanding of the systems inside the van that I'll be able to use when I run into trouble in the future, it becomes a no-brainer for me. So I hope the next time you're dealing with a mechanic, or like I've said before, a carpenter or anybody else who's doing service or work for you, I hope you learn to approach those situations with more wariness. Because if one mechanic is baking in $1,100 of profit maximization into their quotes, it should make you wonder about all those other things you said yes to the first time. Take your time, there's no rush. Well, there's usually no rush. And actually, when there is a rush for something like fixing a flat tire, you should know how to do that, because who knows will be around you at the time you're most desperate. That's it for me today. If you liked this video, if you learned something, give this video a thumbs up. If you didn't, let me know why in the comments below. Thanks for being here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for wanting to learn a thing or two about entrepreneurship. You know the drill. Give me a call, shoot me a text down below. I'm always available. My number's in the description, and I will see you very soon for a new vlog on Friday. I don't like that. See ya.